All right, so let's bring in energy expert Chris Yelland. Chris, thanks so much for your time. First of all, do you think that NERSA got it right in going for 9.61%?
Yeah, look, it all depends who you speak to, but some people would say it's too high, some people would say it's too low, like Eskom believe it should have been 20%, so, and others believe it should be zero. But the bottom line is it's double the inflation rate. So it's going to hurt customers, both domestic, commercial, industrial, agricultural customers who rely on electricity. It's being above inflation. It's going to eat into people's savings and disposable income at a time when the economy and when people can least afford it. So customers would have been no doubt happier with an inflationary increase of maybe 5%. Eskom would have been happy with something much higher. But of course, it is a balancing act that NERSA has to play between the interest of the economy and customers, as well as the to ensure that Eskom is sustainable. And I must also add that there are, in fact, defined methodologies. So this is not just a thumb suck based on what what the economy can afford, but it's a mechanistic process as well, following a methodology by which Eskom is legally allowed to recover its efficiently and prudently incurred expenditure plus a fair return on assets employed. And that's the job of the regulator, to decide which of Eskom's expenditure is prudently and efficiently occurred and which ones it is not. But whatever happens, if they don't get the price they want, Eskom requires government bailouts, and the lower the price increase from the tariff, the higher the bailout will going to be to service its debt.
Yeah, so we could be paying more in the long term. I wanted to ask you a little bit more about this to and fro that's been going on between NERSA and Eskom, because Eskom has been challenging NERSA, and even the tone of their media release was sort of saying, well, there's been quite a long road to get to this point. And it seems to be suggesting from the tone of it, and you know better than me, that Eskom is sort of saying they've tried everything to do it right, suggesting maybe that NERSA hasn't played ball with them properly. I don't know, what did you read into their media release, Eskom's?
Yeah, look, what Eskom is basically saying is they're going to look at and they're looking forward to the reasons for decision, because these decisions by NERSA have to follow their methodology, and they have to be rational. There have to be reasons for them, and those reasons have to make sense. And if they don't, the matter can be taken on review in the courts. And Eskom have taken a number of NERSA decisions on review in the courts. And the courts, after hearing both sides of the story and exercising proper judgment, have ruled very often in Eskom's favor, implying that that NERSA hasn't followed its own methodology. And this, for example, applies to a 59 billion rand outstanding claim that Eskom has, which the High Court ruled that NERSA, the regulator, had unlawfully disallowed in Eskom's price increase, and that Eskom have taken this matter on appeal to the Supreme Court of Appeal, and this could mean a further increase to recover some 59 billion rand once the judgment is received from the appeal court, if it goes in Eskom's favor, which I think it's highly likely to go in Eskom's favor.
All right, so talk to me about then, at this point, this increase is due to start from April, 9.61%. Could any of the litigation around this impact that particular increase? Or is there any option for further appeals or anything?
Well, let us just say that that 9.6 increase is going to happen on the 1st of April. And the question is, will there be additional price increases either on the 1st of April or in the years to follow that result from these court actions, which, if Eskom wins this latest one, would mean quite a significant increase. Of course, it depends on how it is phased in. In other words, is that 59 billion going to be clawed back in a single year, or maybe phased over a number of years? That still has to be resolved. And we look to the courts and to further negotiations between Eskom and NERSA on the outcome of that. But That would be over and above the 9.6% that has been awarded yesterday on the 1st of April. And remember, too, that many customers are not supplied by Eskom, they're supplied by municipalities. The municipal tariffs go up on the 1st of July every year, and those tariff increases will follow in due course. Based on Eskom's price increase, municipalities have to work out their price increases. About 70%, 80% of municipal costs for electricity, come from Eskom supply. The balance come from their own business operation of distributing their distribution network. So I think we can see a similar amount on the 1st of July from municipalities, which will affect a large number of domestic customers.
I mean, yeah, exactly. As you say, it's way higher than inflation, although it's lower than what Eskom wanted. And at the same time, we're looking at a situation where the price of Brent crude oil is over $100 a barrel because of what's going on with the invasion of Ukraine. Some are saying it could go much higher than that, which would offset any gains we've got from no increase in the fuel levy or the RAF levy this year. So we really are, on that front, as consumers, at the mercy of what's going on very far away from us, aren't we?
Absolutely right. The goings on in Ukraine have resulted in an increase in the price of oil, and this uncertainty, continues. Remember, Russia is the second biggest oil producer in the world, and it can disrupt international supply chain and create shortages, which would result in price increases. That, of course, is in the dollar price of oil. But remember, too, that the rand has also weakened as a result of the Ukrainian crisis. And if it weakens further, the combination of an increasing dollar price and a weakening rand puts significant upward price pressure on the price of petrol, oil, diesel, and that impacts us all. And diesel, of course, impacts Eskom because they run their open cycle gas turbines on diesel. So, yeah, these are all upward price pressures, inflationary pressures that are going to hit the pockets of consumers, on business, industry, agriculture, etc.
All right. Well, thank you so much for chatting to us. That is Chris Yelland. He's an energy expert.